financial instruments.
Yeah, they're leveraging it and then making stuff up.
Exactly. And so it's a house of paper, a house of cards, whatever you want to label it, but it hasn't any financial foundation, and that's what America's been operating on for decades.
So is it bold arrogance, imperial hubris, or is it desperation that they're now getting so greedy they're grabbing houses they don't even own that are paid for?
You've hit the nail on the head. You know, they're now getting desperate because the wealth has been absolutely used up. The wealth of America has been used up and indebted. So it's they have to go to this monopoly money in order to, and then these phantom financial instruments in order to keep their dominance. And guess where all of that phantom and the real money is going into the military, so they can at least still claim a place of leadership somewhere in the world.
Yeah, nuclear blackmail.
Exactly.
Well, Russell,
exactly.
You know, every day I get on the show and I see all the numbers, everything we talked about now confirmed in spades, worse than I could even imagine. You know, people say, Alex, you exaggerate. No. 9 times out of 10, it's worse than I can even articulate. I'm always learning more. It's so crazy that I can't even believe it. I know what other people can't believe this stuff because it's so brazen. It's so naked. It's so openly insane and self-destructive, even for the controllers, but they just can't help it because they're on power trips, that we're in a depression. They've now announced they're going to hyperinflate the currency like Weimar Republic or Zimbabwe.
Right.
And I don't think even the listeners of this show, I don't think even I, because we've had it so good so long, realize the type of hell we're entering. But there's 2 choices, as Ron Paul has said. We either go the way of using this pain to get some freedom back and get up on our hind legs, or we ain't seen nothing yet. These controllers are going to use this to set up even more power and control, and they're doing it right now, Russell. Your comments on this, do you agree with me that we're at a historic crossroads, make it or break it?
I agree with that, and I also have to state that I think it's past. The crossroads have passed, because when you look at our forced diets, you know, anything that has a grain, any grain food isn't good for you. You know, there isn't any food produced in America that's good for you unless you eat it raw, practically. And you know, I heard your commercial on your that's the place you have, the type of places you have to go just to stay healthy in this country. And fortunately, on the reservation, the corporation food people haven't reached us yet, so we can still get some natural foods. But we have government forced agricultural department food put on us every month. High in sodium, high in GMO, high in every poison you can think of.
Well, how diabolical is it that people wake up to aspartame the last 10 years, people stop buying it, so even Coke's offering Coke Zero and other alternatives, and now go to a grocery store, 99% of the gum, most of the time I can't even find it, that sugar for children has aspartame in it. I mean, I know I talked about this earlier, but think about the cold-bloodedness. They know this gives them cancer. They know.
That's what gets me. And these are the corporate criminals that never are charged with anything. It's, and the American, I keep going back to the irresponsibility of the American people, because that is the very first rule of freedom. You are free to be responsible. You cannot have freedom unless you're responsible. And to allow yourself to be poisoned, to allow your children to be stolen, allow the incarceration of innocent.
Well, we lost his phone line. I wonder if somebody's fiddling with it. They admit this guy's under federal surveillance constantly. We'll get Russell Means back on. Boy, you hear the media call him a liberal, a commie. He's the opposite of that. He's a libertarian. Barely lost out to Ron Paul running for Libertarian president way back in the 80s. And that's why they hate Russell Means. He's Alex Jones, but before Alex Jones was born. And because he studied it. I mean, you go do the research. It doesn't matter if you're a white guy or a Native American or black or Asian or whatever you are. I mean, you're a human being. And what we're facing is real. Every time he's on, the phone lines do this. I remember the last 2 interviews with Russell Means, this kind of chicanery was going on. So we'll continue with him if we can get him back on the line. One time the phones went dead. Russell, remember that one time you were on and the phones went dead for like 15 minutes?
Exactly, and it happened again. All the power to my house was cut off. It's amazing. You still there?
Yes, sir. I'm there.
Yeah, it's diabolical. I'm just fed up with it.
What was it you were saying when they cut you off?
Well, I was talking about how the American people are not free to be responsible, and that's the very first rule of freedom is that you are free to be responsible. And when you're so irresponsible to ignore the fact that your children are being stolen, innocent people incarcerated.
Stay there, Russell. We got a break. Come back and finish up with that on the other side. Hi, this is Alex Jones. Did you know that the global elite are now storing non-hybrid seeds in secret storage vaults near the Arctic Circle? Did you know that in a real meltdown, non-hybrid seeds can become more valuable than silver or gold? It's true, seeds have outperformed even gold and silver before in this country, and it's possible that could even happen again. So our friends at Solutions from Science have put together the perfect mix of non-hybrid seeds. They call it a survival seed bank, and it can produce an endless supply of nutrient-dense food for you and your family. And here's the best part. These seeds have not been genetically modified in any way, and you have a full business garden. So visit survivalseedbank.com. That's survivalseedbank.com, or give them a call at 877-327-0365. That's 877-327-0365. Remember, in a real crisis, non-hybrid seeds are the ultimate barter item. This is Alex Jones for survivalseedbank.com.
Hi, I'm Mark Craighead, founder of Crossbreed Holsters. I designed our top-selling holster, the Super Tuck Deluxe, to solve the problems of being poked, pinched, and gouged while carrying concealed. The Super Tuck Deluxe is the most comfortable, most concealable holster on the market today. We offer a 2-week free trial and a lifetime warranty.
Visit us at crossbreedholsters.com. Don't forget, crossbreedholsters.com.
Go solar for cheap. Want to use solar power but the price is too high? Now you can build your own solar panels for less than $200 at 123cheapsolar.com. Don't laugh. We've sold over 45,000 solar do-it-yourself kits. Watch the step-by-step videos that even non-handyman types can use. We offer a 60-day money-back guarantee. Go to 123cheapsolar.com or call 800-713-0486. 800-713-0486. Reduce your foreign oil dependency when you go green with 123cheapsolar.com.
As gardeners, we can all relate.
What do you do with all of the excess food that you grow?
Freezing or canning may have been the process you've used, but the good folks at Excalibur Dehydrator have a healthy alternative to preserve the fruits of your labor. The Excalibur Dehydrator will help you preserve your fruits and vegetables quickly and easily, so you don't have to worry about premature spoiling. You can also use your Excalibur Dehydrator year-round to make delicious jerky. And the best part? The foods you dehydrate are free from excess additives, salt, and preservatives, and that's something we can all do without. To learn more and to order your very own Excalibur Dehydrator, visit drying123.com and see how the Excalibur Dehydrator can help you preserve your favorite foods.
Mention coupon code GCN and receive a free book on how to preserve your foods.
Again, that's drying123.com, drying123.com, or call 1-800-875-4254. That's 1-800-875-4254 today.
Russell Means was one of the first people to expose sterilization. It came out in government documents that tens of thousands of Native Americans, Indians, were sterilized. And, of course, last week it came out about Guatemala, and Hillary apologized, shooting kids, men, women up with hardcore live syphilis. Folks, this is all ongoing, and people need to get this through your head. And I'm going to briefly tell a story, but I don't want Russell to get into this. But I have a good friend whose dad was one of the heads of a major corporation. I'll just leave it at that, based in Houston. And after his dad died, we went to the funeral, and he told me the story about how they were at the Grand Canyon when he was a little kid with his brother and sister, and there was a drunk Indian stumbling around by the Grand Canyon, and his dad looked at him smugly, and he said, "Son, you see that? That's why we got their land." Well, that's why they're putting poison in your Diet Coke and your kids' food. You're being poisoned so they can get you, so you can be their slave. And it's this attitude of yuppies and some white people, or I see it with black folks, anybody that gets some government power, with corrupt police, that they're on the winning team, and it's a wink, wink, look what we're doing to them. Russell, your comments on that?
Well, it's the classic colonial tool to brainwash. You know, once you're part of the in-group, you know, just witness the black people now. There are blatant acts of racism being perpetuated against them, but because they have a black president, they think they're in, so they're not saying a word. They're not doing a thing, and they're not helping anyone else either. The American people are the same way. It happened with the Italians. It happened with the Irish. It happened with all the immigrants that come to this country. Once they're in, then they ignore their constitutional rights because they're in. It is a weakness in the American fabric. The only way American people can become responsible is to grab their Constitution and declare their freedom from the American government, and let's put them out of a job. The Supreme Court is blatantly corporate controlled. It is on and on and on that the United States government, and we know that the present United States government was incorporated in Puerto Rico and is not a constitutional government, and that's why it's all capitalized. Those of us that understand this are the freedom fighters that are left in America. And the American people has this fantasy of a constitutional government, which we do not have. We have to grab our responsibility. I mean, I've realized as an American Indian that the United States of America is not going to live up to the Constitution of the United States. I've proven it all the way to the Supreme Court. So rather than continue knocking my head against a brick wall, I didn't want my brain to turn to jelly. So I reestablished the freedom of my people with the Republic of Lakota.
That's right. You've declared...
We withdrew from our treaties with the United States of America, and it's all backed by international and constitutional law.
We're going to go to break and come back and briefly talk about that movement. I'm going to get you back up in the near future. It's been too long to have you on, sir, but I can really feel your soul, your strength, your honor. And I just want to point out to all those that think they're part of the in crowd, the cops, everybody else, look, we're all in this together, whether you're a Native American, Indian, black, white. You better understand that we're all being poisoned, we're all under attack, and that at a spiritual level, we all who love freedom and decency and honor, we need to come together against this tyranny. I'm going to get Russell Means' take on that statement I just made on the other side. But look, we better come together under freedom, or we're all dead meat.
This is GCN, the Genesis Communications Radio Network.
This is Alex Jones with 5 good reasons you should consider buying a solar power generator. Number 1, new climate legislation could easily double or triple your electric bill. Number 2, our new energy czar wants to control how much power your electric company allows you to have. It's true. Total government control of electricity in the name of smart grid technology is coming. Number 3, in some areas of the country, the power grid is dangerously overloaded. And now, new socialist legislation is only compounding the problem. Number 4, dangerous weather is always a threat to local grids. Every year, thousands of families lose their power from weather-related outages. Number 5, a solar power generator provides powerful backup insurance and peace of mind. Folks, I really believe in the solar power generators offered by Solutions from